bar just like a star. Yeah, I like that pump. And of course, this is where we welcome you all to Pagentry Talk. And of course, with our host, Adina Pollard-Simon. And trust me, this is going to be a segment that, trust me, you are going to just love. Pageantry and all the things that you need to know about pageantry. Could you see, well, we here at New Era TT Radio, and also to our Gael family, want to say a very special good afternoon to them also. But yeah, let me say good afternoon to our host, Adina. Good day to you.
Hi, good evening, Sir Charles. How are you?
I am well, and how are you?
I am excellent. Very much excellent.
Well, I'm happy to know that.
Yes.
That
It's
puts a
nice to
smile on
hear
my
you.
face and a song in my heart.
Nice, nice. That's good. That's good. It's great to have you in my midst.
Yeah, so we are here for another edition. Of course, last week we
Yes.
started out. For those who don't know and who missed out, this is the second edition of Pageantry Talk. And so, what are we all about today?
Yes, Sir Charles, good evening. And to the listening public, whichever part of the world you are, to my beautiful country, Trinidad and Tobago, we are here. This is your queen, Adina Pollard-Simon, as Mr. Sir Charles would have said. Just to refresh last week we had the first episode of Pageantry Talk. But I would like to start by thanking New Era TT Radio, Gael, and Saya Graphics for having me in your midst and also supporting this segment. Pageantry is very important. We would have had the National Director of Mrs. Universe Trinidad and Tobago. She was my very first guest. And on that note, I would have mentioned two persons who are tuning in for the first time or trying to get accustomed to Pageantry Talk. You are watching at your newly crowned Mrs. Woman of the Universe, Trinidad and Tobago 2025. That was an interesting show um, that was held. Yes, sorry, people. Yes, it was an interesting show that was held at the Center of the Excellence in Macoya. Um, People, I would have gotten some lovely experience. Yes, there would have been the challenging times. Even with my years of experience, I always tell people whichever pageant you go into, it's a learning experience. And coming out of that, there was the Miss Division and there was the Mrs. Division. So this evening, without further ado, I want to bring in um, two of the queens that was crowned in the Miss Division. However, you will see my crown on my head, it's my title. And because we are talking pageantry, and in the background, you will see my sash. People, we all are going to be representing Trinidad and Tobago on the international platform in pageantry again. So, Charles, if you are hearing, I would like to know if my two guests are in. We have Priya Ali and Aliana Sipasad.
Well, I am looking for the both of them. So far, they have not entered into the waiting room. So, but I'm looking for them, and as
Oh,
soon as they get inside, I will definitely let you know.
okay.
Right? I'm
We
hoping that they're not
I
getting any
know,
problems linking up.
yes, I know sometimes people have that issue of getting into the technical side of the show.
Yeah.
Um, but coming out of that, in the meantime, I could for those who have been asking questions, I've gotten a lot of emails such as this is I think a much needed segment for persons who are inexperienced, who are looking to enter the world of pageantry. This is going to be like no other over the coming weeks and days, months, and I intend to leave a legacy where pageantry is concerned. Um, People ask what made me get into pageantry, so I will answer some of the questions that was posted in my email via WhatsApp. What made me get into pageantry? Honestly speaking, I didn't have any desire My colleagues at the point in time when I worked at the Ministry of Legal Affairs, thanks to them, we are all still good, even though we have parted ways to different organizations, different government agencies. But we still keep in touch. They encouraged me. They were like, Adina, your personality, just like that, your personality, we think you could go and try the pageant. I was like, me? People knew me at this point in time for calypso because at that point I grew up in a home where singing, church, going to the tent, calypso competing. Yes, that was a diner. It's still in me, right? But it's just that your purpose and your passion sometimes takes you to a different direction. So that was one of the questions I remember very well. Support. Support is something that is very crucial. People, I couldn't have done what I've been doing over the years without support. But beside that, we all have to motivate each other, right? I at times had to dig deep for the inspiration to motivate. And that's why I live by these three words: inspire, motivate, and educate. Because I had to educate myself on a lot of levels in pageantry. Imagine entering your first pageant with no experience and then fast tracking over the rigorous training. Right? My first pageant directors will tell you I was one like, what did I get myself into? But on the final night, it was history. I walked away with the crown and I have no regrets of ever entering a pageant. But it's a process. It's not what we all see alone on the night. It takes time. It takes a lot of mental, your whole mental mentality, and you have to change a lot of things about yourself, especially when you want to aspire to get that crown. So it's not just like you walk in the room and feel free, people, as I would have mentioned to you, to support this segment. There's advertising packages. If you want to sponsor or contribute, feel free. You can email me at Adina, Adina, aka Queenie 123 at gmail.com. Or you can either call 477-3640 or 757-5591. And there's other things that will be coming up. I hope you all will support your queen or continue, because there are some who has been very loyal, committed to standing with the queen. But we all know the journey it takes, especially when you have to head to the international pageant platform. It takes a lot, people, a lot to get a queen prepared for any pageant, whether local, national, regional, but international, that's our next forefront. And I'm blessed to have had the experience and still continue as we make waves and, as I say, leave a legacy. So Charles, I don't know if you could let me know if any of them join in, because I know before we were having some issues.
Yeah, well, so far, no, they have not. What they can do, I can probably give you 2 minutes, so you could probably shoot them a call.
Sure, thank you.
And
I appreciate it because
we
they
will come
didn't tell
back.
me they were waiting and they have the link.
Yeah.
So I could probably check in with them.
Yeah, so check in on that with them, make sure everything is all right, and I will keep pageantry running in the background musically until you get back.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Now remember, people, this is Pageantry Talk here with Adina, Pollard-Simon, right here on Neo Era TT Radio and also on Gael the channel, right? So while we just check to see what is going on with our guests, because everybody's coming in remotely from their space. What we do know is that, some people in some areas, since over the weekend, been having some internet problems. So let's hope that our guests are not having those kinds of challenges, right? So stay with us and we'll be back in a short. right, everybody, and of course, it is Pageantry Talk here with Adina, right? Right. Uh, Adina, are you back with me? Yeah, I think you're muted.
Back. I'm back. I'm on. I'm joined. I've joined you back. Sorry.
No
Are
problem.
you hearing me?
I am hearing you pretty well when I see, it seems that one individual is coming in.
Yes. They will be in the same space. So people, welcome back to all who are listening on New Era TT Radio. I thank you all for endorsing this segment, which is much needed in our country. And I also thank my Gael family. We go way back, such as you know that.
A long, long way.
Someone asked me, these are some of the questions that I have been getting via email and through messages. How do you know Sir Charles? How do you know Uncle Errol? So to sum up these two gentlemen, I must say this is beyond pageantry. It is many years. I think I have lost count of how long we knew each other.
Yeah, it's a long
Right?
time
That's
ago.
why we are a family. Literally, people. I call them my extended bunch of family. So, Charles, can you remember how long?
Actually, no, I can't. I'm not even trying.
Yes, it's a long time,
It's a
and
long
that's
time. That's all I would
important.
tell people. It's a long time.
Yes, a very long time, and I feel blessed to have them in my space, and I also are in their space. So we can go to the phone and see who is on. If it's Aliana, again, I would have introduced them, so I would allow them. Our winner is Miss Priya Ali. She's in the Miss Division. She's Miss Woman of the Universe, and people, she's getting ready to go and wave the red, white, and black, as well as Aliana Sipasan. But we will speak with Priya first, and then we will speak with um, Aliana. These two young ladies, you will hear their journey. We'll be on for a short time. Again, we're bringing them back into the program as time permits over the next few months to get the progress of what is happening with them. So I welcome Priya Ali. Is she there?
Well, we have somebody there. I'm not too sure exactly because person's camera is off one and there's no name on the, on the phone.
Oh,
So,
okay.
guess you would have to identify yourself.
Yes, I think they're having a little issue on their side. But if we could take her audio, if she's hearing
Yeah.
me.
But I'm not sure which one of them is there. So,
Yes, and her mic is muted, so I'm not. If you all are hearing me, oh, we have. Okay, so what will happen because we are not getting them? We have Richard Young, people. This is one of my surprise guests that I was having. We will have to find out what's happening with the other ladies, probably bring them
yeah,
back
we'll
on.
do some shifting around as we go
Of
along.
course, of
Yeah.
course.
But we're
Richard
happy to have
Young
our
is
guest.
again. He's a, as I always tell people, every person that comes on to this program is persons who I would have worked with in the industry, build a bond. I always say Trinidad and Tobago before we bring Richard to the screen. He has not, and I say this with much conviction. Richard Young is one of the persons who has not gotten enough recognition. He is known, yes, here in Trinidad and Tobago, and I am blessed. Richard Young would have been the first person who taught me how to do fashion runway. And he has worked with persons in the industry like Wendy Fitzwilliam, all these queens that you are seeing who represent Trinidad and Tobago. His repertoire is extensive, people. He is known also in the international diaspora. Richard was supposed to be a surprise, but he came on and you all saw him. So we would continue with him. Richard, I want to welcome you to Adina Pollard, aka Queenie, Pageantry Talks, New Era TT Radio, Gael, the Caribbean, also to Sire Graphics. Sir Charles, Uncle Errol, you all know Richard Young is not a stranger to this family. So I will allow him to the first question. I want to welcome you. I hope you had a good day, Richard. I'm very elated to have you here with us. People, I feel blessed to know I have a mentor such as Richard in this program. I know his schedule is also busy. Richard, I would like you to tell people how did you or when did you begin pageants? When what made you want to be a part of this industry?
Hi everyone. It started with me being selected to be a model when somebody saw me and thought that I looked like what should be used to merchandise clothes and probably go internationally. My feeling for myself at that time was not so self-assured. I was a dancer of the National Dance Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And so I was fit and lean and long and tall, and so I had what they would have been considering the pre-requirements. After dancing for a while, I wanted to do the model thing, and I did it for a while. But I came off the stage to style how people should use the stage, my model technique, and um, my lust for theatre. My lust for theatre because I studied literature, so my understanding of theatre was very literary first, and then I wanted to see how I can manifest it on a stage using my dance background and the precision of dance. So I started working out formulas and methodologies of how to present fashion first and how to present what I call the beauty of the country, which made me go into pageants. And the beauty of the country is in the human resource, and it doesn't only mean women, it means men and women. So staging beautiful things became important for me and to find ways of doing it. And so that's how I entered it in the 80s, just out of school. And I just got empowering projects to do by people just trusting me. One of the most important things I did was something called Meeting Point for the University of the West. And it was the first show in this part of the world where there were like 20 designers and like 80 models. And I staged it, and then it became almost like a franchise show, so that other organizations used the name Meeting Point. So I moved around. It was first the university did it for 3 years, and then Bishop Anstey did it for a few years. Then organizations like We Educate the Deaf and other people took on the brand Meeting Point, and we staged these grand shows. So that went into the 90s. And since the 80s, I started working with delegates and pageants, telling them there's a little more precision in how you present, how you stand, how you create the presence, how you access what is regal, how you have to understand yourself and love yourself so that you could project meaningfully and convincingly. So it's all a lot more than just the technical knowledge. It's about a self-awareness and a cultural confidence that I wanted to bring to the table. So I've been crafting it since the days of even, I worked alongside, even when Giselle Laurent was in Miss Trinidad and Tobago. In that year, my sister participated in that show, and I was working with Kim Sabini as a young person, very young person. And they just thought that I had a sense of knowing, so I was around helping. And then in the 90s, I trained most of the delegates who were leaving for the country to go abroad. Peter Elias had the franchise, and the winners would be sent to me, the local Gatcliffs. I trained Julian Richards, Sassy Beechan, Kelshaw, Guinevere Kelshaw, and Margot Bourgeois, before she even went up in the pageant. So a lot of training went on. Nicole Dyer. So the 90s was filled with me working with delegates who won the pageant in preparation for international pageants. And then when 2000 started, I worked with Daniel Jones, who played in Miss Universe. And then I started getting a string of successes from people who participated. So kind of reassured me that my formula looked like it made sense. And in certain parts, I had Taj top 10 in Miss Universe. To place third at Miss World last year. And even now with Annalise Nanton, who is doing formidably at the pageant because she's placed in the pageant of almost every category. And that's how pageants, I kind of strip the old school pageant uh, tegument off because I don't feel it needs to be stiff. A lot of old pageantry has a stiff value that I feel. I think what is happening, particularly with Annalise is so believable and so real. And that is what you need to craft. You need to craft bringing your true self to the table, using the techniques which give you a competitive edge, but being real and true to self and talking about what is important to you and what is your value as a citizen of the space you live in. And how do you see community? How do you see family? And when you talk those truths, that now says you are representing the beauty of the space. Because remember, I started off saying that is what I wanted to put on stage. My, my my mantra is to present the beauty of the Caribbean on stage, whether through fashion or pageants. So as long as it's that, it has to be shaped, crafted, sculpted, designed, and formulated. And so that has been the way. And I've worked throughout the region. In most of the English-speaking islands, I have gone and worked with the pageants as well. And I do fashion work throughout the region, French, Dutch, Spanish. So that is what has happened in the last 3 decades. And even in the diaspora, because I did Montreal Caribbean Fashion Toronto, a string of shows in Toronto called Cutting Style, shows in Miami, shows in Boston, shows in Philadelphia. So wherever there are Caribbean, North America, New York, I've gone and shows to celebrate who we are. So that's it in a nutshell. And so I don't want to just talk uncontrollably, but that's the gist of it. There's a thread running through. So it's not an accidental thing or accidental up at the top, but my purpose for, as my reason for living, to help people unearth their beauty. But we're working and find it for you and I comes that you what people good about it and that's the transfer of the beauty. So funny that it's good makeup, good style, good clothes, walk. But what you really are transferring is the sense of I celebrate that celebrate part of the Caribbean because of culture that represents. I want to show the beauty to the world. And when you have that as a picture, sky's the limit.
Richard, I am always amazed. People who are listening, I can sit and listen to Richard all evening, right? Because this is why we have this space and it is structured for persons like Richard Young to come in. As I would have said earlier, I live by three words: inspire, motivate, and educate. And you am always educated by Richard Young. So when persons would have asked me, where did you learn this and where would I learn that? This is the example. If you didn't learn anything from Richard Young, trust me, it was not in a headspace. You have to walk away with learning from him, right? I always say this is an honor and I really value him. As I said that I don't think he's getting enough recognition that he deserves. A national award is one of the things I would like to see happen for Richard because he has earned it. I recall last year I would have represented the country in Guyana. And from the time I mentioned, because questions like Richard Young name, I was told, oh my gosh, it's a long time we haven't seen Richard. We need to. I said, yes, he's there. Richard is, I think it's safe to say, there's persons who are in pageantry and fashion in the industry who does this part time. Richard is the only person that I can safely say that does this as his soul. Am I correct, Richard? his only job, and I appreciate and value him. And Richard, I mean, this is your space this evening. We will have someone calling in a while. We'll open the lines. I'm dedicating this part for you. Persons can ask questions because you have a wealth of knowledge. I mean, this evening is not enough. I'm definitely going to bring you back. I feel very blessed to be in your space, to know you. And if it was up to Adina alone, trust me, the accolades would be flying in. The awards would be. And I always say give persons their flowers, this which is deserving. I don't think Richard, I'm not speaking for him, but I don't think Richard could. He has called some powerful names that I grew up looking up to, like Margaret. We have Nicole Dyer, right? These are ladies who would have went to represent Giselle Aron. These are queens, right? And to fall within the schemata of these things, Richard, it's good to know that you are a part of creating, as I said, crafting for ladies like myself, because you don't just work with one type, you work with full of figure ladies. I felt that every time I see Richard, I would have a joy in my heart. But I have to get when it's time to get down to the nitty gritty, because I've been asked questions what it is like to be working with Richard Young. And I said, very interesting, right? Why he can be understanding, there's a side of him you have to understand because he wants the best from you, right? I remember when I started, I didn't know anything. I don't know if Richard can recall. It was in London. Yeah, when she was having that fashion show. And it had no smile with Richard. It's the way he told you to stand and your posture. And this is something that remained with me in that. One of my questions for you this evening, Richard. I know you said it's a long time. The 80s is a long time. I would have been a child at that time before even inventing. Where do you see the industry overall in the next 10 years, as in terms of pageantry versus fashion? What is your take on that? In the next 10 years, where do you see it going?
Well, we're getting a good track record. This is Trinidad and Tobago has been picking up a good track record. And for a small developing nation, we are ranked high in the world in terms of our wins and our placements, because we had Arlene Peterkin was a top 5. We had Gabrielle Walcott placed third at Miss World, had Michelle Khan placed third at Miss World. We have had Ashley placed third at Miss World. We have had top 10 people like Anisha Tom. We have a history of girls placing because of the exoticism of our beauty. So I feel it's not going to die, but generally, in spite of the fact that they say that there are like 600 million viewers for some of these international pageants when they are on, some people still hold the feeling that pageants are a thing of the past. It's an obsolete thing and it objectifies women, but it is how you interpret it. And my interpretation for the pageants is creating space and allowing women to claim space. And so it's different. And that's why I shy away from the old mandates of the pageant, because my thing is a liberating experience. It's about liberating. It's about bringing your vulnerabilities to bear in your pageant space. It's about self-discovery. So it can't be negative. It has to be emboldening. And while you are being emboldened, you are bringing your tribe with you, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your work people. They all come along the journey with you. And so therefore, I think it can develop. In fact, there's a proliferation of pageants now in Trinidad and Tobago. So in one way, I think it's a good thing, but another way, it also means to be distilled. It needs to be distilled, otherwise it could be diluted, and because when you have a plenty of something, it starts to get watered down if the stewards of the pageant are not injecting the right and instilling the right values. So they're very careful. people who are taking the leads with the pageant have to be quite responsible about what the outcome of a pageant experience is. So yes, we are going in the right direction. But as regards fashion, fashion is a burgeoning thing. There are a lot of new talents. It's about creative entrepreneurship. So in the space of creative entrepreneurship, um, our brands, our fashion brands, are figuring because they are allowing what we call economic diversity to show its head.
Yes.
Because that's what it's the new age thing. We need to economically diversify from traditional ways of doing things. And so this non-traditional practice of empowering creative is happening. And since that is happening, we are forging a new kind of future. So fashion is going in the right direction, creating opportunities and employment, accessing. I can speak about my brother. My brother's experience is his trajectory is solid. Having just come back from Tokyo and having just gone to Dubai and showing in Paris and leading off in a fashion week and things like that. So making those inroads, you don't only make a stamp for your brand, like in his case, the cloth, but they have to know where the brand comes from. And therefore, the brand of Trinidad and Tobago is lauded at the same time. So we are making strides. We are making strides. And even with me moving up and down the region, I just came back 2 weeks ago from working with the Miss Grenada pageant, and they're planning to bring me back. Spice Mass, the Spice Mass Corporation brought me over to work with the young ladies for their show coming up in the early August. And I have done it for the government of Antigua. I've done it for tourism ministries in Guyana and St. Lucia, Dominica. I have worked with pageant delegates throughout the region. All the people or all the powers that be that see it as a developmental platform, some of them come, and that's what keeps me going as well, because I have to make this sustainable, So, yeah, I see there's a future, a hopeful future.
Very well, interesting. So before people you see within this space of time how many we have heard from Richard, how far he has gone, where he continued and he has never stopped. I don't think he ever stopped, Richard. You have always been continuous. And this is one of the things that I admire with Richard. He's very persistent. Listen, he's very consistent. I know he don't lack in that area. So before we open the line, there's one other I would like you to let people know about your recent people. He has a school of guild. I would like you to share some knowledge on that, where you are located. Because persons have asked me, where can we get Richard if we have never met with him? How do we not just source him for like events, but they want to be a part of your experience. They would like to say they were a student, even if it's temporary, whether pageantry, whether it's fashion. How do we reach Richard? Where can he be found?
Just yesterday, I had a very successful opening of what I call the Guild, and it is at the Shops of Maraval, and it's going to be a specialty event center for, as again, non-traditional practices, whether it's up markets, whether it's a jazz evening, whether it's an art exhibition, whether it's a spoken word talk, or whether it's train pageant delegates as well as future models. And I also have programs for customer service, best practice development. I also have programs for mature women and fuller figure women who want to empower themselves and feel and sculpt a sense of presence and create a sense of self-assertiveness. So it's on its way. Already took a cohort in, and so we just launched at the Shops of Maraval. It's called the Young Guild, slash the guild. The guild is the space, and the young guild is the institution within it. So it's the training capstone courses that I've crafted. We work it through this space. I'm actually in this space right now, just got here, because I have a little training with a young lady who flew in from New York to train with me. A 12-year-old, her parents crash course, and they fly back out on Wednesday. So this evening is her last session with me, and we did a fabulous photo shoot as well. So I'm there, and so far I could be contacted on WhatsApp at 728-6290, 728-6290. Only that's a WhatsApp call or WhatsApp text. It's not a direct contact. And that's how you can get in touch with me, or you could drop me a line on Messenger. I have two pages. I have a business page, and I have my personal page. And if you drop me a line there, we can start a conversation. Yeah?
Yes. Wow. Knowledge. These are so much nuggets for anyone who was thinking. So Charles, could you just share the number on the screen? I want to allow the listening public to call in and speak with Richard, ask questions before we wrap up, because the information that he's sharing here is a lot. It is educated.
It is, and
And
so let me just
you can pick
yeah.
anything you want, or you could either decide if you want to do anything.
Yeah, so let's let people know if
Sure.
you want to
Sure,
get in
Sir
on the
Charles.
show now, you can call us at 281-1315. If you're out of the jurisdiction, you can WhatsApp, right? So you can either direct call us or you could WhatsApp call us at 281-1315. You can also send a message, and I will always get your message to Adina also.
Sure. Appreciated. Thank you. I want to give people a chance to speak directly with Richard, because I have been getting tons of questions for the longest while where Richard Young is concerned. And people, this is your opportunity. I would have said that this show is about engaging, interacting. One on one is like no other. There are times when it may take a different direction. And I love what Richard said, because every time he speaks, I take away for myself, because I call it personal development, where you will learn. He said pageantry is no longer the old fashioned way. Yes, it is the foundation, but it has evolved. And if I'm wrong, I know I will be corrected by Richard, right? Because I have learned a lot from Richard. Pageantry is a different, this is a new era, and that's why I love this station, New Era TT Radio. We are bringing it to you. Yes, we have the foundation, but seeing that Richard is in the industry for this length of time, he has recognized the needs. You know, it's to me, it's all about development. All right, so it can't stay one way. It has, some things has to change, because we have, when you have all these different pageants across the world universe, right? That's why our team song is "You Are One with the Universe." I have learned as well. I continue to say I'm still learning, because there's a lot what I would have learned. So such as if anyone is in, people sometimes we get, let me know. If anyone is calling, sometimes they get some, they get none, sometimes they get a whole set. And because this is the second episode, again, I really have to thank Richard Young, because he has a very busy schedule. I appreciate having Richard on with us this evening, because sometimes you speak to Richard now, and then the next time you call Richard, and he's out of the country. He's his engagement, his schedule. I don't know how he does it, but I am taking a page out of Richard's book. It's nice. I heard he said he just came back from Grenada. Most times, anytime I travel outside of Trinidad and Tobago, especially New York, and people hear the name Richard, they'll be like, "Is he here? Are we going to see him? What is going to happen?" I saw him work with a young lady recently, a teenager, and it touched me when I saw this young lady interviewed Richard. Right? He has trained her. Her name again she has been doing.
Sophie Henson. She modeled in Paris Fashion,
Yes, that's her name.
modeled in New York Fashion Week after training.
Yes,
And she's going
yes.
to Milan and London this year. Yeah. So,
Really?
um,
Wow, she's going places.
she's 12.
Send America. I hope I can have her on one of these days. Yes. Look at that age. She's an inspirational story because I was listening to her and I followed her for some time. I think she's from Port of Spain, from around, and I listened to her story, which is very touching. And
Yeah.
again, having to fall into the hands of Richard, yes, I would like to get her on our show. She is so mature for her age. She has gone to one of the places that I would like to go to, which is Paris. Right? She's going there. So I would, it's good, Richard, again, that you get to plant these seeds and watch us blossom. Right? Again, I may have to go back to some refresher courses with Richard because it's always exciting. Vigorous training, though, people. Prepare for vigorous if you intend. So, Charles, is anyone on?
No, as soon as I
We
get
at
it, I will let you know.
All right. So what I will do, as I said, persons, if you don't call today, feel free to email me and send even to New Era TT Radio, to Gaia, the Caribbean. You know you all can because I know you all are viewing. I must thank the viewers. I saw for the very first episode we have reached over 3,000 persons already. Even though Trinidad and Tobago, Little Twin Island Republic, we have persons. Richard, I just got a text from the US. They send their love. So feel free. For who have my number, if you don't want to use my number, use the numbers that we are advertising here. And I will surely pass the messages on to Richard because I know there are persons who, I was trying to surprise the public, right, on who we are going to have because over the next few weeks, persons like Richard, and I'm not tooting his horn for him, I'm giving him what is due to Richard. He has worked tirelessly. I have seen Richard put on productions, which I was a part of as well. And sometimes I wonder, from one training to the other, to meeting, to setting up. And when you have events, Richard likes stuff a particular way, people. Trust me, it's either at a standard or no way at all. I could attest it because I have been there as a model. I've seen events, I have been as a guest. And he really is very meticulous about what he does. He doesn't, as we say, settle for less, right? So what do you do, Richard? I thank you. If no one is calling me, we could always redirect. I thank you for being so disciplined. And having somebody of this magnitude, I really appreciate it. I will always honor and respect Richard. He's very disciplined. When I contacted Richard, and he said that I know once my schedule permits me, and he's here today, people. Given all these, but I definitely have to bring Richard back because people like Richard. When you get to Richard, you have to hold, as you say. My Nigerian sisters say, snatch him. Right? I thank you so much for always waving the red, white, and black, for always showing Adina this queen love. Even though I get tough love, people, it's not about chalk and cheese alone, but I appreciate you. And one day, I know I have a surprise, but I can't let it out on air yet. One day I will have a surprise for Richard because he's always willing and very supportive of us. As he said, the list is long. I know a few people, but that few might be many who will agree with me when we say Richard deserves to get a national award. So thank you so much, Richard, for your time. I wish you all the success and the blessings, continued blessings on your endeavors. And what will I say? I will continue to grow and learn with you. Thank you so much for being in our space. Mwah. Yes, people. So, Charles, what a person. I am
what
so
a
happy
very
that we
interesting
have
individual,
had.
Yeah.
Yes, Richard is so. I always say his contents are so valuable.
Yeah.
And I am blessed to know him
What
on a pageantry level, know him on a fashion. I can safely say Richard is my friend.
what is
Time and
what is
place,
interesting
he's
about
very professional.
what is interesting
Very.
about Richard and people like Richard Adina, they are not coming through at a time. You see, like now, we have a lot of people who are doing it, and but they are the pioneers. They are the ones who paved the way. They are like the weeds that came
Yes,
through the rocks, you know.
yes,
And so
agreed,
they would have
agreed.
done
I
all what
must
they might
say,
call in Trinidad the bulwark.
yes,
Breaking down all the barriers, taking all the ridicule, going,
yeah,
doing it for the love and not making a cent.
yep,
Yeah,
that is so
those are the
true.
kinds of individuals that Richard and others like him are. So we thank
Yes,
him.
I have to agree. I have to agree with you, Sir Charles, because I have been blessed to be in this space with Richard and see him in motion. He is like people say Duracell battery. I would say even a generator
Yeah,
that doesn't stop.
because he's
Sometimes
genuine. You see, he's a genuine individual doing what
exactly,
he.
and you
Yeah,
never hear. And that's why I said I don't think he has gotten what he deserves as an individual because he has been doing this for a very long time, and
yeah,
I cannot think of any other person that I could say that comes to mind. Yes, there are other persons who has been working hard. Mind you, we have other persons who are loyal, committed, but he's the only person I can safely say that is in this industry strictly alone. Like myself, I have my job and I do this part time, right? But he has been doing this like
yeah.
forever.
Full time, full time.
Yeah, so it is really, and I always say give people their flowers, give them what is due to them. So I am very honored. I feel blessed to have him in our space. And he would have, trust me, he has so much more to offer. But for the time that he has been on this show, he has given us a wealth of knowledge. The different names, if you will do the research on the names of the persons that he would have worked with. And what is good that he doesn't just stick to one particular area of ladies or gentlemen, not forgetting the men, because he works with men as well, right? But it's from at a tender age, that child name we just called Sophia Hinkson. He has done a marvelous job with her. And then you have the slim ladies, we have the Miss Universe, the Misses. He has been working with so many full figure plus size. On that note, I just want to send out some love to some of the persons who would have been prepping me. My lovely hair and makeup was done by Michaela Miller, an ex-pageantry baby. One day you'll see her on the show as well. She has passed through. She's also into the plus size industry, and I feel blessed to know her. There's a number of others who would have passed over under my hand as well. There are other persons you're going to see. There's the educating part beside interviewing as the days go by and the different guests. You all will get segments on articulation, the poise, the confidence. When you're in pageantry, the things to look out for, the do's and the don'ts, right? Um, Confidence is one. I always tell people confidence is one. People, right? So on that note, I want to encourage you people to continue supporting your Mrs. Woman of the Universe. I myself is getting ready. I have preparations for the next few weeks and months as I get ready to wave the flag. I'm also doing a fundraiser, people, along with my other sister queens, along with our national director who is spearheading it, on the 19th of June at the host. That is one of the venues we would have first launched when we were made known to the public for 2025 before the final night. So if you all need tickets, they are 200. Please get in contact with me. Even if you are outside of Trinidad and Tobago, you can support this initiative. And for persons again, beside my email, you all can find me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram as well. And to New Era TT Radio. It's really a new era, people. I don't know how Sir Charles came up with the name or where they would have gotten it, but it is suited because it is a new era. as he's going above and beyond, and pageantry talks will be around for a long time. I don't know if Sir Charles has any pageant experience, but I would like to hear from him one day if he probably was a host or that. And even to my guy family, I could never ever stop thanking Uncle Eric Fabian. Oh, I need to ask him if he has any pageant experience because sometimes these guys have experience in stuff that we don't know about. We probably will bring him on one day as well, right? And to Graphic, to the listening public, to my pageant family, you all, I thank you all so much for believing in me. And as we have a plenty of people, I will be putting it up soon, advertising. We are going to be doing a telethon, and I will let you all know when. So for myself as well, there's the funding part of pageantry where we queens have to, and of course the organization will do their part as well. So I would encourage you all to support. Any questions, feel free, reach out, text, message, voice, email, respectfully, whatever. Because sometimes you get some emails as well. So Charles, you may know.
Yes. Yes.
How we deal with it, I always say respectfully. So I thank you all so much for tuning in. Keep the questions coming. Some persons might be shy, they may not want to come on. But I thank you because without you all, this show would not be possible. So Charles, thank you for believing in Adina. Right? AKA Queenie Pageantry Talks is going to grow from one level to the other as we progress. Again, without you, Queenie cannot do it. So thank you so much, Charles.
Okay, no problem. Well, thank you very much, Dinah, and of course, all the best as you go.
Yes.
I'll give you the opportunity to give people the number also for those who would like to get involved and sponsor the program. So give them that information again before we leave.
Sure. The numbers to contact are 477-3640. Also, you can call 757-5591, or you can email Adina, Adina, aka Queenie with an IE 123 at gmail.com. And I think we'll put it across the screen next time so people can see.
Yeah.
Right? Feel free. Without you, we can't do that. For persons who are interested in advertising, because there are some persons who will have asked the question. Again, you can reach out, and there are different packages which you can get involved in. So thanks so much again. And I want you all to keep safe, people. Keep safe. We are living in a time, yes, pageantry is important, but it's good to be your neighbor's keeper. It's very important. And to every aspiring young woman or young man that wants to get into pageantry, feel free. You can call, you can text, send your questions. That's what Pageantry Talk is about. This show is structured in a way that trust and believe you will learn a lot. And this is just the second episode, people. We have more to come. You will have so many persons to hear from. Sometimes I cannot believe that I have been involved in pageants so many years. And the persons who have touched my life, my pageant directors, I like to call them my pageant mommies and my pageant daddies, right? Because you have to have an open mind, people, to understand where you would like to go, but you also have to know where you are coming from. And I want to leave you with some words that you could ponder on. It doesn't matter your social, economic background, right? Where you came from. It does matter where you see yourself going. And these are things I have took with me on a journey. And as I say journey, I like to always say these words which works for me. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So have a great evening, people.
Thank you very much, Adina, Pollard-Simon, for Pageantry Talks. Remember, people, on a Monday, you can join Adina just after 6 o'clock, between the 6 and 7 o'clock hour. right here on New Era TT Radio and also on Gael Caribbean, the channel, right? Thank you very much. Stick and stay. Of course, so much more for you on the frequency. Remember, you get up very early with us from 6 a.m. with the breakfast show with Richard and Wendell. And coming up in a short, at 8 o'clock, look out for Mr. Energy RJ. He's going to step inside. Right? So stay with us.
Mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together.